The sun was setting over the beautiful kingdom of Eldoria. Golden light touched the tall towers of the grand palace, making everything look like gold and fire. Inside the palace walls, something special was happening, but nobody outside knew about it. Princess Elena stood in her quiet room, looking out the large window. She was the youngest daughter of King Marcus and Queen Victoria. At 23 years old, she was beautiful, kind, and loved by all the people in the kingdom. But her heart was hiding a big secret, a secret that could change everything. "You should not be sad," came a soft voice from the door. Elena turned around. It was Captain Thomas, the head of the royal guard. He was a tall man with strong shoulders and kind eyes. He had been a guard at the palace for 12 years. Everyone respected him because he was honest, brave, and always did his duty. "I am not sad," Elena said with a small smile. "I am just thinking." Thomas stepped into the room carefully. He was not supposed to be here alone with the princess. That was the rule. But Thomas had broken many rules in the last 3 months, and he would break many more for her. "Are you thinking about tomorrow?" he asked quietly. Elena nodded. Tomorrow was an important day. Tomorrow, she would meet Prince William from the neighboring kingdom of Westaria. He was coming to the palace for the royal festival. Many people believed that the king wanted Elena to marry the prince. It would be a good marriage for the kingdom, but no one knew that Elena did not want this marriage. "My father has already decided," Elena said softly. "I am a princess. My life is not my own. It belongs to the kingdom." Thomas moved closer. He wanted to hold her hand, but he could not. There were guards outside. There were eyes everywhere in the palace. He had to be careful. "Your life belongs to you," Thomas said with passion in his voice. "You are a person, not just a princess. You have the right to choose who you love." Elena looked at him. Her eyes were full of sadness and love. "And what about you? What about your duty?" This was the real problem. Thomas was a guard. He came from a poor family. Elena was a princess. She came from the most powerful family in the kingdom. Their love was impossible. Everyone would say it was wrong. The king would be angry. The people might not understand. "I love you," Thomas said quietly. "I love you more than anything, more than my duty, more than my life." Elena felt tears come in her eyes. "And I love you too. That is why I am so sad. We can never be together." Just then, they heard footsteps in the hallway. Thomas quickly moved away from Elena. By the time the door opened, he was standing by the window like a proper guard, and Elena was sitting on her chair like a proper princess. It was Elena's brother, Prince Alexander. He was 25 years old and would be the next king. He looked at Thomas and Elena with sharp eyes. He knew something was wrong. He had always been smart and could see things that other people missed. "Sister," Alexander said, "I need to talk to you about tomorrow's meeting with Prince William." "Of course, brother," Elena said calmly. Alexander waited for Thomas to leave the room. But Thomas did not move. This was strange. Usually, guards left when a member of the royal family wanted privacy. "Captain Thomas," Alexander said slowly, "please wait outside." Thomas left the room without saying anything, but his eyes met Elena's for just 1 second. It was enough to show all his love and all his pain. When the door was closed, Alexander sat down next to his sister. He took her hand. "Elena," he said gently, "I know something is wrong. I know you do not want to marry Prince William, and I know why." Elena's face became white with fear. "What do you mean, brother?" "I have seen the way Captain Thomas looks at you," Alexander said, "and I have seen the way you look at him. It is the same way mother and father look at each other." Tears started running down Elena's face. She had tried so hard to hide her feelings, but her brother, who knew her all her life, could see through everything. "This is impossible," Elena whispered. "Father will never accept it. The people will never accept it. A princess cannot marry a guard." Alexander was quiet for a long time. Then he said something that surprised Elena. "I will help you," he said. "I do not know how yet, but I will find a way. You deserve to be happy, sister. You deserve to love whoever you want to love." Elena looked at her brother with wide eyes. "You would do that for me? You would go against father? You would risk your future as the next king. You are my sister, Alexander said simply. I love you more than anything, and you should be happy. True happiness is more important than rules and duties. Elena hugged her brother tightly. For the first time in 3 months, she felt hope. Maybe, just maybe, there was a way to be with Thomas. Maybe her love story did not have to end in sadness. Outside the door, Thomas was standing like a guard should stand, but his heart was beating very fast. He did not know what Prince Alexander and Elena were talking about. He did not know that his life was about to change. He did not know that the next few days would bring surprises that would shake the entire palace. But something in the air told him that big things were coming. Big, impossible, beautiful things. The morning sun was bright and beautiful. The entire palace was busy and excited. Servants were running everywhere. They were cleaning the halls, putting fresh flowers in every room, and preparing the grand dining hall for the special dinner. Today was the day Prince William of Westaria would arrive. Princess Elena had not slept well. She kept thinking about what her brother Alexander had said. He said he would help her. But how? What could he do? What could anyone do? Their love seemed too impossible, too dangerous. She sat in front of the big mirror in her room while her servant, an old woman named Martha, was brushing her long, dark hair. You look sad, my princess, Martha said kindly. Martha had worked in the palace for 40 years. She had helped raise Elena since she was a baby. She knew Elena better than anyone. I am tired, Martha, Elena said softly. That is all. But Martha was smart. She had seen the way Elena and Captain Thomas looked at each other at the palace events. She had noticed how Thomas always stood closest to Elena when he was on guard duty. She had seen their secret glances and small smiles. My dear child, Martha said, putting down the brush, I know you have a worried heart. I can see it in your eyes. I have lived a long life, and I have learned that the heart knows what the heart wants. Sometimes rules and duties are not more important than love. Elena turned to look at Martha. Do you really think so? I know so, Martha said with a gentle smile. I loved a man once, a poor man. My family did not want to marry him, but we loved each other so much that we did not care about what others thought. We were happy, my dear, so very happy. Elena wanted to ask Martha more questions, but there was a loud noise outside. The royal guards were gathering. Prince William's carriage was arriving. Elena stood up and put on her beautiful blue dress. It was made of the finest material in the kingdom. She looked like a princess should look. Beautiful, perfect, but inside her heart was breaking. She walked down the grand staircase to the main hall. Her father, King Marcus, was already there. He was a big man with a strong voice and a kind face. He wore the royal crown and royal robes. Next to him stood her mother, Queen Victoria. She was smiling, but Elena could see worry in her eyes. Prince Alexander was standing on the other side of the hall. He caught Elena's eye and gave her a small, secret nod. It meant something. It meant that he was thinking about her. It meant that he was working on helping her. The tall doors opened, and there he was. Prince William was tall and handsome. He had golden hair and blue eyes. He wore expensive clothes from Westaria. Everyone in the hall gasped a little. He looked like a real prince from a storybook. Many of the young women in the palace would have loved to marry him. But Elena's heart did not move. She felt nothing. King Marcus welcomed Prince William with a big smile. He showed him around the palace. He introduced him to everyone. And finally, he introduced him to Princess Elena. This is my daughter, Princess Elena, the king said proudly. She is the most beautiful and kind person in our kingdom. Prince William took Elena's hand and kissed it. It is a great honor to meet you, Princess Elena. Your father has told me wonderful things about you. Elena smiled politely. Welcome to our kingdom, your highness. I hope you will have a pleasant stay. Prince William did not let go of her hand. I am sure I will, especially now that I have met you. Everyone laughed and smiled, but Elena felt uncomfortable. She wanted to pull her hand away. She wanted to run away. She wanted to find Thomas. Later that afternoon, There was a big ceremony in the palace gardens. All the important people in the kingdom were there. Prince William walked with Elena. He told her stories about his kingdom. He was interesting and funny. But Elena could not focus on his words. She kept looking at the guards standing around the garden. And there was Thomas. He was standing near the tall stone columns, watching everything with his sharp guard eyes. When he saw Elena with Prince William, his face became hard and sad. He looked away quickly. But Elena had seen his pain. At dinner, Prince William sat next to Elena. He tried to make conversation with her. He asked her questions about her life, her interests, her dreams. He was trying very hard to be nice. Elena could see that he was a good person, and in a different world, maybe she could have liked him. But her heart belonged to someone else. After dinner, there was a party. Music was playing. People were dancing. Prince William asked Elena to dance with him. She had to say yes. It was proper. It was expected. As they danced, Prince William spoke quietly to her. "You seem sad, Princess Elena. Does my presence make you uncomfortable?" Elena was surprised by his question. "No, Your Highness. I am just tired." "I do not think that is true," Prince William said gently. "I can see that your heart is somewhere else. I can see that you do not want to be here with me." Elena did not know what to say. She looked up at Prince William's face. She saw understanding and sadness there. "There is someone else, is there not?" he asked quietly. Elena's eyes filled with tears. She could not lie. "Yes," she whispered. "There is." Prince William stopped dancing. He stepped back and looked at her carefully. "Then we have a problem," he said softly. "A big problem. Because my father, the king, has already decided that I should marry you, and your father has already decided that you should marry me, and neither of us can stop this." He paused and then said, "But maybe there's a way." Elena looked at him with hope in her eyes. "What do you mean?" "I do not know yet," Prince William said, "but I will think about it. You deserve to be happy, Princess Elena, and I cannot force someone to love me. So we will find another way." That night, Elena told her brother what Prince William had said. Alexander smiled and said something surprising. "I like this prince," Alexander said. "Maybe he will help us." 3 days had passed since Prince William arrived at the palace. 3 days of watching, waiting, and hoping. 3 days of Elena's heart breaking a little more each day. Prince William had become friendly with everyone in the palace. He spent time with King Marcus, talking about trade and politics. He spent time with Queen Victoria, learning about the kingdom's history. He was charming and kind. People liked him. But most importantly, he had become friends with Prince Alexander. The two young princes would spend hours together talking in the palace library, in the gardens, and walking through the hallways. No one thought this was strange. It was good for the kingdoms to have friendly relations. But Elena knew something else was happening. She knew they were planning something. On the evening of the 3rd day, Alexander came to Elena's room. He looked excited and nervous at the same time. "We have a plan," he said quietly, closing the door behind him. "Prince William and I have been thinking all day. We have found a way." Elena's heart jumped with hope and fear. "What way? What do you mean?" "First, you must understand something," Alexander said, sitting down. "Prince William is not happy in his life. His father, King Robert, is very strict and controls everything. Prince William has never been allowed to choose his own path. He has had to follow orders his whole life. He understands your pain, sister. He understands what it is like to have no choice. But what is the plan?" Elena asked urgently. Alexander took a deep breath. "Prince William has a cousin who is a priest in a small village far from here. The priest is kind and does not always follow the strict rules of the church. Prince William will tell his father that he cannot marry you because you've fallen in love with someone else. He will say that you do not want to marry him. He will say that he respects your heart too much to force you. But my father will be angry," Elena said. "He will never accept this." "That is the second part of the plan," Alexander said. "I will talk to father. I will tell him that I have decided something important. I will tell him that you should be allowed to choose who you marry. I will tell him that forcing you to marry someone you do not love will make you unhappy forever. And I will tell him that true happiness is more important than political alliances. He will not listen to you, Elena said sadly. Father is a king. He has made his decision. Maybe not, Alexander said, but I am his son. I am the next king. I have some power too. And there is more, sister. Mother is already on our side. She told me today that she understands our situation. She remembers what it was like to be young and in love. She will help us convince Father. Elena felt tears of hope come into her eyes. And then, what happens after that? After that, you will go with Thomas to the village where the priest is. You will get married quietly, with only a few people knowing, and then you will come back, and you will tell the whole kingdom that you are married. By then, it will be too late for anyone to stop it. You will be Captain Thomas's wife. But Thomas is a guard, Elena said. I am a princess. People will say it is wrong. Some people will say that. Alexander agreed. But most people love you. They will see that you are happy. And happiness is worth more than titles. Besides, Thomas is a good man. He is brave and kind and loyal. Those things are more important than being born to a rich family. Elena wanted to believe this. She wanted to believe that love could win, but she was scared. When will this happen? She asked. Soon, Alexander said. Very soon. But there is one more thing. You must talk to Thomas. You must tell him everything. You must ask him if he is willing to do this. Because if we do this, his life will change too. He will no longer be a guard. He will have to leave the palace. He will have to start a new life with you. I will talk to him tonight, Elena said. Good, Alexander said. I will arrange it. There is a small garden near the kitchen where the guards sometimes rest when they are on night duty. I will make sure that Captain Thomas is there at midnight. You can meet him there. The palace was dark and quiet when Elena walked through the hallways at midnight. She wore a dark cloak so that no one would recognize her. Her heart was beating very fast. This was dangerous. If someone saw her, if someone knew what she was doing, everything could fall apart. The small garden was hidden behind tall walls. It was a secret place where few people went. Thomas was already there, waiting. When he saw Elena, his face showed surprise and fear and love all at the same time. Elena, he said urgently, moving toward her. What are you doing here? This is dangerous. If someone sees you... I know, Elena said, taking his hands. I do not care. I had to see you. I had to talk to you. They sat down on a stone bench in shadows. Elena told him everything. She told him about Prince William's discovery. She told him about Prince Alexander's plan. She told him about the priest in the village. She told him about the secret wedding. When she finished, Thomas was quiet for a long time. His face was serious. Elena, he said finally, I love you more than anything. But you must understand what this means. If we do this, your life will change forever. You will not be a princess anymore. You will be married to a poor guard. You will have to give up the palace, the wealth, the power, everything. You will have to live a simple life. Are you sure? Are you really sure? Yes, Elena said without hesitation. I am sure, because none of those things matter to me. The only thing that matters is being with you. The only thing that matters is love. Thomas pulled her close and held her. Then I will do it, he said. I will marry you. I will give you a simple life, but I will give you all my love. That is a promise. They sat together in the garden for a long time, holding each other, feeling the warmth of their love. They did not know what would happen next. They did not know if their plan would work. But they knew one thing for sure. They were willing to risk everything for each other. And sometimes that was enough. The morning sun was shining bright on the palace when everything changed. King Marcus was having breakfast in the royal dining room with Prince William. It was supposed to be a pleasant morning. The king wanted to discuss the wedding plans. He wanted to talk about the date, the ceremony, the celebration that would bring the two kingdoms together. But Prince William had other plans. Your Majesty, Prince William said carefully, putting down his bread, I must tell you something important. Something that I should have told you before, but I did not have the courage. King Marcus looked up from his food. What is it, Prince William? You look serious. I cannot marry Princess Elena, Prince William said quietly but clearly. I have come to know her during these past days, and I know that her heart does not belong to me. Her heart belongs to someone else. A good man, a man she loves very much. King Marcus's face turned red with anger. He stood up from his chair, so quickly that it fell backward. What are you talking about? He shouted. What man? Who dares to interfere with a royal marriage? It is Captain Thomas, Prince William said calmly, the head of the royal guard. He is an honest and brave man, and Princess Elena loves him. The king's anger became even bigger. His face looked like a storm. This is impossible. My daughter is a princess. She cannot marry a guard. This is an insult to my family. This is an insult to your family. This breaks every rule of the kingdom. With respect, your majesty, Prince William said, still calm, love breaks every rule. And sometimes that is a good thing. Sometimes rules are not more important than happiness. Get out, the king shouted. Get out of my palace. You are no longer welcome here. Go back to your kingdom and tell your father that this marriage is finished. It is over. There will be no wedding. Prince William stood up and bowed respectfully. As you wish, your majesty. I will leave today, but I hope that one day you will understand. I hope that you will see that your daughter's happiness is worth more than politics. He walked out of the dining room, leaving King Marcus standing there, shaking with anger. By noon, the entire palace knew what had happened. Servants were talking to servants. Guards were talking to guards. The news spread like fire through the hallways. Prince William was leaving. The wedding was canceled, and there were whispers about why. There were whispers about the princess and the guard. King Marcus called a meeting in the throne room. He wanted Elena to come. He wanted to hear from her what was true and what was not. Elena walked into the throne room with fear in her heart. Her father was sitting on his throne. Her mother was standing beside him, looking worried. Several other important people were in the room. There were advisors and nobles and high priests. Everyone was looking at Elena with curiosity and judgment. Is it true? King Marcus asked, his voice loud and angry. Is it true that you have been seeing Captain Thomas? Is it true that you love him? Elena wanted to lie. She wanted to say no, but she could not. She had promised to be honest, and she was tired of hiding her heart. Yes, father, she said loudly and clearly. It is true. I love Captain Thomas. I love him more than anything, and I will not marry Prince William. The room became silent. Everyone was shocked. A princess had just spoken against the king's wishes in front of all these important people. This was very unusual. This was very brave. This was very dangerous. King Marcus stood up for his throne. His voice was cold and hard. You are a princess of this kingdom. You have duties. You have responsibilities. You cannot just follow your heart like a common person. You are not free to love whoever you want. You are a princess. Your life belongs to the kingdom. My life belongs to me, Elena said, her voice shaking but strong. I am a person, father, not just a princess. I have the right to choose who I love. I have the right to be happy. Then you are no longer my daughter, King Marcus said coldly. If you marry this guard, you will be banished from the kingdom. You will never see this palace again. You will never see your family again. You will lose your title, your wealth, your position. You will have nothing. Queen Victoria stepped forward. Marcus, please, listen to her. Listen to your heart. Remember when we were young. Remember how our families opposed our marriage, but we fought for our love. That was different, the king said, but his voice was a little softer now. It was not different, Queen Victoria said. It was exactly the same. We were lucky that you were brave enough to fight for me. Do not take that chance away from our daughter. Just then, Prince Alexander walked into the throne room. He had been waiting outside, listening to everything. He stepped forward and knelt before his father. Father, he said respectfully, I ask you to reconsider. Elena is my sister. I love her. I want her to be happy. And I have learned in these past days that true strength is not in controlling people. True strength is in allowing the people you love to choose their own path. King Marcus looked at his daughter, then at his wife, then at his son. He could see the love on all their faces. He could see that they were serious. He could see that they would not change their minds. He sat back down on his throne. His shoulders seemed smaller now. His anger seemed to be fading, replaced by sadness. "If you leave this palace," he said slowly, "you'll have nothing. No money, no title, no protection from the royal guards. You will have to start a new life with nothing." "I will have Captain Thomas," Elena said. "That is all I need." King Marcus closed his eyes. A single tear ran down his face. "I pray that your love is strong enough," he said quietly, "because you will need it." He waved his hand in a tired gesture. "Go," he said. "Leave the palace. I cannot see this anymore. Go and live your life with your guard. But know this, Elena. If you choose to leave, you can never come back. The palace doors will be closed to you forever." Elena wanted to cry, but she did not. She stepped forward and kissed her father's hand. "Thank you for letting me choose," she whispered. Then she turned and walked out of the throne room. Her mother and brother followed her. In the palace hallways, Queen Victoria hugged her daughter and whispered, "Go with Thomas. Go and be happy. That is all that matters." That night, Elena and Thomas left the palace. They carried only a small bag with a few clothes. Prince William was waiting for them in a carriage outside the palace walls. He was taking them to the village where the priest was waiting. As they drove away, Elena looked back at the palace one last time. It was the only home she had ever known. But she was not sad. She was free, and she was going toward love. The small village of Thornbrook was far from the palace. It was a quiet place where people lived simple lives. There were green hills, peaceful fields, and small cottages with flowers growing around them. No one here knew about royal families or palaces. No one here cared about titles or power. People cared about love, family, and helping each other. The carriage drove to the village and stopped near a small white church. The church was old and beautiful. It had been built hundreds of years ago. A kind priest named Father Martin lived there. He was an old man with white hair and a warm smile. He knew Prince William's cousin well, and he was willing to perform the secret wedding. Elena stepped out of the carriage. She was not wearing her beautiful blue dress anymore. She was wearing a simple white dress that her mother had given her. It was not fancy, but it was perfect. Thomas stood beside her, also wearing simple clothes. For the first time in his life, he was not wearing his guard's uniform. "Are you ready?" Thomas asked, taking her hand. Elena nodded. She had never been more sure of anything in her life. Inside the church, only a few people were present. Prince William stood as a witness. Martha, Elena's old servant, was there too. The king's advisor had told her to go home, but Martha had followed Elena anyway. She said that she would not let Elena do this without someone to support her. There was also Father Martin and his helper. That was all. No crowds, no celebration, no thousands of people watching. Just love. Father Martin performed the ceremony. He spoke about love and commitment. He spoke about how love is the strongest force in the world. He spoke about how two people, when they truly love each other, can face any difficulty. "Do you, Elena, take this man to be your husband?" Father Martin asked. "I do," Elena said clearly, her eyes full of tears of happiness. "Do you, Thomas, take this woman to be your wife?" Father Martin asked. "I do," Thomas said, his voice strong and sure. "With all my heart, I do." They exchanged simple rings made of silver. When they kissed, Martha clapped her hands and cried happy tears. They were married. They were no longer princess and guard. They were simply Elena and Thomas, a man and a woman who loved each other. 3 months passed. Elena and Thomas had moved to a small cottage on the edge of Thornbrook. It was a tiny house, much smaller than the palace. The roof needed fixing. The walls needed painting. But it was theirs. They had worked hard to make it home. Thomas found work as a protector in the village. He helped people who were in danger. He taught young boys how to defend themselves. People respected him and paid him for his work. It was not much money, but it was enough for food and shelter. Elena worked in the village school. She taught children to read and write. She also helped people who were sick. She discovered that she loved helping others. She loved the simple life. In the palace, she had been unhappy and trapped. Here, she was free and happy. The people in Thornbrook loved Elena and Thomas. They did not know that Elena had been a princess. Elena did not tell them. It did not matter anymore. What mattered was that she was kind and helpful. What mattered was that she loved the man she had married. One day, a carriage arrived in the village. It was a royal carriage. Thomas and Elena looked at each other with fear and hope. They did not know who was coming. The carriage door opened and a man stepped out. It was King Marcus. He was Elena's father. Elena's heart stopped. She did not know what to expect. Would he be angry? Would he try to take her back to the palace? Would he try to separate her from Thomas? King Marcus walked toward them slowly. His face was serious, but not angry. There was sadness in his eyes, but also something else. Something that looked like understanding. "Hello, Elena," he said quietly. "It has been a long time." "Father," Elena said, tears coming to her eyes. I did not expect to see you." "I know," King Marcus said. He looked at Thomas. "And this is the man you love. This is Captain Thomas." "Yes, father," Elena said. "This is my husband, Thomas." King Marcus was quiet for a long time. Then he did something unexpected. He smiled, a real smile that came from his heart. "Your mother told me something important," he said. "She told me that I was wrong to be so angry. She told me that I had forgotten what love was. She told me that I was being a fool, and she was right." "Mother?" Elena asked, surprised. "Yes," the king said. "Your mother has been in my ear for months. She kept saying that I should come to see you. She kept saying that I should make peace with you. I did not listen at first, but I have thought about it every day, and I have realized something. I have realized that my daughter's happiness is more important than any rule, any tradition, any political alliance." Tears were running down Elena's face now. "I have come to ask your forgiveness," King Marcus said. "I came to tell you that I was wrong to throw you out of the palace. I came to tell you that I love you no matter what you choose. And I came to tell you this." He held out a bag. "This is not for me," he said. "This is from your mother and your brother Alexander. It is money, not from the royal treasury. Money that they saved from their own wealth. They wanted you to have it. They wanted you to know that they love you. They wanted you to know that you have a family that supports you, no matter what." Elena took the bag. She felt her father's love in it. She felt her mother's love and her brother's love. "Thank you, father," she whispered. King Marcus looked at the small cottage. He looked at the simple life his daughter had chosen. Then he looked at Elena's face. He could see that she was happy, truly happy, happier than she had ever been in the palace. "You look happy," he said. "That makes my heart lighter." "I am happy, father," Elena said. "I have everything I need. I have Thomas. I have this life. I have love." King Marcus hugged his daughter for the first time in 3 months. "I am proud of you," he said. "I am proud of your courage. I am proud of your love. And I am sorry that I did not see it sooner." Before he left, King Marcus spoke to Thomas. "You must take care of her," he said. "You must make her happy." "I will spend my entire life making her happy," Thomas said respectfully. "That is my promise to you, your majesty." Years passed. Elena and Thomas had 3 children, 2 sons and 1 daughter. They grew up in the simple village, not knowing that their mother had once been a princess. They grew up knowing love, kindness, and hard work. Princess Elena never became a queen. She never ruled a kingdom. She never wore a crown again, but she found something more valuable than any crown. She found true love. She found freedom. She found happiness. And she discovered that the greatest power in the world is not the power of a king. The greatest power is the power of love, the power of 2 people who care about each other, the power of a family that supports each other. King Marcus visited his daughter many times after that first visit. He brought his wife, Queen Victoria. He brought Prince Alexander. The palace and the small cottage became connected. The family became whole again. And in the end, Elena's choice was not wrong. It was the most right choice she could have made. Because true happiness is not found in palaces and power. True happiness is found in love. True happiness is found in the heart of the person you love. And that was worth giving up everything for.